Do you believe somebody could be trained potentially to sense information, not by reading a book, but by touching a book? I have a crazy story to share with you. In my book, The Code of the Extraordinary Mind, I shared this story to some degree, but the story is so wild, I didn't go into the full story. And it's a story about how I learned through a teacher how to absorb information from a book by touching it. Now let me give you an idea of what happened. And I'm recording this at home under quarantine, so excuse the lower than usual production qualities for Mind Valley. In 2002, so this was shortly after the dot-com crisis, I had lost my company in San Francisco, I'd lost my savings, and the economy had completely tanked because the dot-com bubble had burst the year before. It was January 2002, and I finally got a job. But it was a really horrible job. There was no one hiring. I remember the month I had lost my business, 14,000 other people had been laid off in the same way. So that time was very similar to our present time with COVID-19. So I started
Transmitiendo ya para la sala, puse normal.
Having a position open.
Esa cámara que está aquí arriba. Venga a ver.
No
tiene que tener. Venga a ver. Sí, pero es que él va a estar ahí parado.
Tú le puedes agregar, por ejemplo, las redes.
Ya yo estoy transmitiendo por YouTube. Ven a ver.
I was struck, but that wasn't all. You see, when you have to pick up a phone and call along in the middle of his or her busy working day. Lawyers are the worst people to interrupt. I got told to kid more times than I ever want to remember. And I guess one day in this miserable job, because there was no other options, after being told perhaps the 13th time by a lawyer, I sank into a bit of a depression. And I decided I need to do something about this situation I was in. Times were tough. Dot com bubble had burst. There were very few opportunities. What could I do? So I went on Google. Back then, Google had just launched as a search engine. And I can't remember what I typed in. Maybe it was, why does life suck so bad? Or Google, please help me. But I stumbled upon a particular class. And in my book, I did not share the name of the class back then. But now I just got the permission and the rights to share it in the class. And it was called Silva Ultra. It was a class developed by mind science pioneer Jose Silva. He had passed away in 1999. And this class claimed to teach you to access altered states, to, in particular, go to the theta level of mind and bring out your intuition. So I thought, okay, the teacher of this class had a point. She said that if you were in sales, this class would completely transform your life, right? It would just accelerate your life. And I did some research and I found that the founder of the class, Jose Silva, had actually written this book in the 1970s, Sales Funnel, using the Silva method. He'd actually written hundreds of books. Many had become New York Times bestsellers. This was a man who was, in the 70s and 80s, was pioneering new ways of understanding the human mind. And so I thought, okay, I'll go take this class and see, maybe it'll help me improve my sales. What I experienced was unexpected. So I flew to Los Angeles and took the class, and I flew back that Sunday night, ready to start work on Monday. Back then, in 2002, in San Francisco, I was assigned to San Antonio as a territory, so I had to call up every lawyer in San Antonio. Because this was the early days of the internet.
Yo le dije, entra, y entró y había
Check out the yellow pages.
4.176.
¿Cómo es que Sandy está
Go
haciendo?
to San Antonio, and I had to use the San Antonio yellow pages and call every lawyer from A to Z. So that was the standard protocol, right? But now, after that, we're in the
Pues sí, tú eres dichoso, que parece que a ti
I entered
te tienen en toda la cola.
and then I held my hand on the yellow
A
pages.
mí me quitaron del servicio por el cambio de gobierno, que hubo dicho que iba a hacer una auditoría.
Ahora,
My inner mind
¿la otra vez?
No, cuando entraron, al
¿Esta
mes.
gente?
Al mes.
¿Cómo hace? Ah, pues tú no tienes mucho tiempo.
Sí, yo tengo con ellos 2 años.
I knew that there
Pero
was a
esta
secret
gente
I
está,
had to call lawyers.
Lo que pasa es que yo estaba aquí, por nómina, y estaba allá también.
Blah, blah, blah. I could
Entonces
not
hubo un
call
choque.
that out.
Y él me dijo que me iba a quitar y que buscar a otra gente. Entonces pusieron a María.
Pero no fue seguro.
All of a sudden, I sensed
¿Tú estás por salud pública?
it literally doubled and I could track it. And I
Salud
couldn't
pública,
believe it. I thought, okay, maybe next week the sales will drop again.
Hay
But
que
the
ver
next week
también.
it stayed at that level.
¿Y fue por ahí?
I was closing twice as
Porque la gente de
many
salud
doors
Todo lo que están hablando ustedes, te lo digo.
¿Sabe?
just from running my fingers down this book.
¿A ti te
Then I
pusieron?
decided to
Pero que-
move
¿A ti te pusieron
from
menudo?
this program. So,
Ah, que tú tienes
I
salud.
used the tool.
¿Y quién está ahí?
¿Y qué es lo que yo te estoy diciendo?
¿Y quién está escuchando eso?
Again, I was 26 years
Yo
old.
ya no entiendo.
Ay, yo no entiendo
Entonces, ¿qué está
And
ahí?
what happened is that in a span of 4 months, I got promoted.
Mira cómo tú lo
I
ves.
was made director of sales, and the company sent
Yo te traje la vaina, ¿eh?
That
En la
was
arena.
how the real started. And it all
Que arreglé
was
la
due
detención.
to this mysterious company called Silva.
Aquí la culpa de ella.
Now what I ended up
¿Tú
doing
tienes una arregleta?
was I stayed with that
¿Eh?
company.
No, está bien, ahí está bien.
I was able to
Mételo para abajo.
accelerate my career.
¿Cómo se ve
And
ahora?
18 months later, I felt a
Oye,
calling.
pero esto se fue.
I thought, I wanted to do something more with my life,
Y
and
eso
not
no
just
se
be a
olvidó.
technology sales.
Todo eso que
And
nos
so
pusimos a correr
I
para que lo vea
decided,
allá.
well,
Ve a ver cómo
this
está el audio y
particular
video ahí.
program Silva onto my
Sí,
computer.
porque esto recoge muchísimo. Esta recoge más, ¿no?
And I thought the best way to learn
Esa,
how
esa,
to teach.
esa, no, yo no la he switchado. Mira, vamos a poner esa, a ver tú
For
ves.
5 years, I was teaching this program across
Está frío.
this eventually started my
Para que el salón y
But
las
if you
redes
really
sociales.
started understanding
Y
the
aquí.
nuances, Silva Ultraman and the techniques of this program, I will invite you to search out this device during this week. The masterclass is called How to Access Altered States of Mind for Powerful Guidance and Problem Solving. And what you learn is how to tackle human theta and delta levels of mind, yes, even the mysterious delta state, to get to a situation in life where
Entonces, yo puedo quitar esta pequeña,
Ayer tuviste que fumar a la oficina por eso que yo.
pero no me la diste nunca.
Y ese tornillo, mira, toma.
¿Y qué te pasa?
Un tornillo lo que yo no.
Mira, Adrián, ven a ver, pasa el palito. ¿Dónde está el palito? Mira, a ver si está ahí adelante.
Primero voy a checar la calidad
Está
antes
bien.
de desarmar. Pero está en el 80.